Hey everybody, it's Matt from You and Your Horror Movies, and welcome to another Top 10 Tuesday. This week we are doing witch flicks, and anything to do like witchcraft or anything like that. So going through my collection and the wife's collection because she likes a lot of witch movies. So I got a good top 10 here, I think. There's definitely some I'm missing, so you probably won't see certain ones on the list that you would probably suspect. I didn't add any of the drama ones like Bell Book and Candle, I Married a Witch, or some comedies, kind of like, Teen Witch, Practical Magic, and those type of movies. I mostly went towards the horror aspect. So, also you won't see Lords of Salem because I don't like that movie. So you won't see that in my top 10. So, yeah, sorry, but that's me. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. I bought this for the wife, the A&E about witches. It's kind of cool. Cool little cartoon from the 70s called Witches Night Out. Check it out for sure. It's all about witches and stuff. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the top 10. Number 10. I did this in my Hammer. Do it in this one. The Witches with Joan Fontaine. If you watched my top 10 on Hammer, you know about this movie where she's a school teacher. The tribe that she's teaching at kicks her out and scares her away. She comes to this little small village where they bring her in, and a lot of people are missing. She's finding voodoo dolls everywhere. Come to find out it's a big witch cult, and they want her part of the cult. It's a pretty cool flick. Very slow, but I highly recommend it. If you've never seen this movie, check out The Witches. Alright, number 9. I know some people probably find some hate in this, but I actually liked it. And that is The Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. It's supposed to take place after the Blair Witch movie, where a couple people are going out trying to find it. And they find this book, actually owned by witches. I said I like this movie. I know some people think Blair Witch 2 is pretty bad, but this one I thought was pretty solid. I liked the storyline. I liked how everything was done. The cool hot chick goth girls in it. Yeah, that's why it's number 9. All right, number 8. It's got a little bit of a kiddie element, but it does have some horror. Shoo, excuse me. And allergic to DVDs. Alright. It's got a little bit of a kid element, but it does have some horror aspects. And that is The Witches. Pretty cool flick. Pretty much is a gathering of witches are in a hotel trying to scheme up their plan to take care of the kids by turning them all into mice by drinking this potion. And of course, the little kid is there with his grandma, and this a bunch of other families. Like there's this big fat kid that's eating everything, and of course, they're the ones that turn him into a mouse. And the fat kid, when he gets turned into a mouse, was pretty freaky looking, and the special effects are pretty badass. I think Jim Henson did the puppetry. I don't know for sure. I forgot. But the puppetry was pretty freaky. And when they showed the Grand High Witch in her normal skin, was pretty badass. Now, a funny little tidbit about this is during the group, well, it's not a coven, but it's more like a group of the witches are all together. They actually have men in drag as extras in the background because they didn't get enough women in the movie. So if you ever watch this, check it out because you see the men in drag and it's hysterical. I was laughing my butt off. Alright, number 7 is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Great little horror comedy. Good old Elvira is she has left her grandmother's house, and it's like this weird old mansion thing, and she delves into witchcraft and everything. It's hysterical. I found the old Anchor Bay edition. I had the midnight movie release, so of course I had to upgrade, well, side grade if you want to call it. but the spells that she used was hysterical, and I guess it's her. I don't know if it's a grandfather or some other guy's after her, and he's pretty bad with the witchcraft too. Yeah, Elvira, great flick. All right, next. It definitely has some witchcraft to it, mostly the curses and everything. More gypsy-like, but I had to put it in here. And that is Drag Me to Hell. I love the ending to this movie. Such an awesome twist. Sam Raimi does a great job into adding that twist at the end. Hi, Ty. And pretty cool. So a lot of good special effects. He goes a lot of his good gore from the old Evil Dead days, with all the vomiting and splurting of pus and blood everywhere. And I liked it a lot. That's why it had to be on my list. The whole curse aspect. And I guess he called her a witch, but I think it was just mostly like a gypsy curse. But then again, you never know. You could put it in both. That's why Drag Me to Hell is in the list at number 6. All right, number 5 is another kiddie film, but it does have some horror aspects, and I watch it every Halloween. That is Hocus Pocus. Come on, gotta have Hocus Pocus in there. Disney put out this film. Love Bette Midler as the main witch, and Sarah Jessica Parker is hysterical, and so is Kathy Najimy. The girls did a great job in this story. My wife loves this movie. Like every Halloween, we'll bust this out and watch it. It's like a tradition that we have. Great storyline, a lot of good, funny twist to it. Does have some little eerie horror comedy to it as well, which is great. So you can watch it with your kids, and adults will get the adult humor too. Awesome. All right, number 4. Get these a little closer. Is Sleepy Hollow. Very dark flick. I love this flick. The whole take on the Headless Horseman, and they added witchcraft to it as well. What can I say about it? Not much. Johnny Depp does an awesome job as Ichabod. They do change the storyline a little bit, where Ichabod's not a teacher. He is more of a investigator, investigating some of the murders, but I can fluff that over. That was great. How he was brought to Sleepy Hollow, and why is the Headless Horseman targeting certain people, and Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman. Gotta love it. And then Ray Park, who did Darth Vader, did the moves as the Headless Horseman, which was awesome as well. I love the fight scenes. Another one I liked, I'll bust out and watch here and there. Great flick. Christina Ricci did a great job too. Like I said, it's got that cool dark goth look to it. Sleepy Hollow, number 4. Number 3 is Warlock. Now, technically, a male witch is not a warlock. A male witch is a witch. Warlock was deemed a different title for certain people, but still, I love this movie. My wife loves it too. Her favorite scene is when he comes flying out of the airplane baggage port. She loves that scene. I don't know why, but she just dies laughing every time she sees it. Great flick from the 80s. Great special effects. Storyline is awesome. Stuff that you can't do now that you could do it back then. Go through an airport with a giant weather vane. Yeah, that won't fly now. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Warlock 1 and 2. 3, on the other hand, went downhill. But I had to put Warlock 1 into my top 10. Great flick. All right, number 1 and 2, I've been bouncing back and forth. So it's kind of like a hit or miss. Like, which one do I want more? So, I don't know. It's tough. So number 2 is The Craft. What can you say about The Craft? You can't say anything bad about this movie. It's great. Brings back a lot from the 90s. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about this film. It's just insanely good. So this was a bounce between 1 and 2. So I had to put The Craft at number 2. And number 1 is Häxan, Witchcraft Through the Ages. This is a great film from the 1920s. It is a silent film, but it depicts all the different stuff about witchcraft back then and almost like a history of it, which is pretty cool too. They break it apart, and Criterion put this out, and I'm glad they put this out because this was actually an awesome transfer they did through it, which was kind of hard for a film from the 1920s, but they did. That's why I had to put it at number 1. It was like bouncing between those two. Alright guys, let me know what you think about my top 10 witch movies. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. Thanks very much for watching, and check everyone else's out. Later. Peace.